And good evening, everyone in Draftarig. Today, I have Allo of Victory League joining us today for Season 5. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you very much.
So,
So,
is the first time you've joined Draft League here?
yep.
What just made you decide to join this season?
So I last year, towards the end of last year, I lost. Well, I made playoffs, but got kicked out of the playoffs, and I was getting the itch to play draft again. And you guys are starting soon, so I thought I would give it a try. Also, like all my buddies from Spear Pillar are in here, and so we thought it would be fun if we would like play together and plan together and stuff.
Oh,
We got
yes.
some returning friends as well. We have I can't never pronounce her name. Pan Steli something. You know the one in Chile. We have Extern with Spore with Daizuk, so we make a
Oh,
good egg roll.
yeah, because I know Spore. I know with Shmuel Curry for a long period of time. Is
Yep.
also in the league. And of course, Isaac we know very well. So tell me a little bit more about your team, the Electivire and Friends.
Yeah. So my team, right? Usually most of the time I draft something pretty pivoty, right? My drafts usually have Yasperada, usually have a fast Rail Breaker Valiant, Blaziken, something like that. Well,
Mm-hmm.
since Draftarig has a different tiering system, I thought I would try something new, try something fun, maybe do some electric terrain stuff, shenanigans. Since some like decent ones I think are ranked a bit low, I could pick them up and build with it. And a lot of my draft experience and stuff, right, are basically the boss man, Takua. I think you know him, teaches me everything basically. And he rates the Palkia pretty high, is one of my favorite mons, so I thought, maybe I should try that out. And so far, he has been working out for me.
I see. Yeah, definitely. Definitely the first thing I noticed. You got a terrain team with Coco, and you got Moth, and then Iron Leaves, which is something that I've seen work to some success, but not as much as I'd hope for how cool it looks, at least by design. Um,
That's true, yeah.
but this could be a season. I feel like every iteration, people might find new strategies, and then with the DLC coming out, there's always like new moves. So since this tiering system is obviously different than what you're used to with being like a points, I think, right, over
Yep,
in other
yep.
servers.
It's always points, always points, always points.
Did you feel just knew it was a somewhat different? Like, did you feel that you got sniped a little bit here and there, or you got some nice pickups that you didn't expect
Well,
to
I
get?
got sniped twice turn one. I lost Valiant and Boulder, so I had to adapt. Then somewhere down the line, I got sniped on Driploom, which is well, a bit of a pain, but yeah. Well, in terms of adaptations, right? Previously, I think you could always pick some defensive high tiers and not be punished as much in a point system. But in a tiering system, I think it's much harder to perhaps like go for stuff like Tengu in a higher tier because you'll be missing out on a lot more better offensive Pokemon. Therefore, you have to really keep in mind to pick good defensive ones early and in maybe perhaps lower tiers to compensate for that. That's one of the reasons why I picked up Lando, because Lando is a really versatile, flexible Pokemon.
Yeah, yeah, having power to intimidate, create a great pivot, and then
And being Landorus.
so one of the more interesting things I've noticed about your roster is that you have a lot of Gen One mons. Um,
What I do?
yeah, and some people have certain feelings about Gen One. I'm personally someone who loves Gen One as someone who grew up on
Me too.
cartoon and things like that. So what made you decide to choose Jinx, Articuno, Golem, and Arbok? Obviously, they have some they're cheap, but they also have some usages.
Well, Articuno I got sniped on, right? So I was going to have Driploom. I was like, oh, I panic picked Articuno, but oh, it is what it is, right? Well,
Mm-hmm.
for me, I think Jinx is one of the best F tiers on the board, and it looks like a really fun one to mess around. You know, bring it to weeks where it's a bit less chill, it's a bit more chill. You can like run the absolute most insane sets on the planet, and you can still get away with it. For Arbok, I just like the Pokemon, and Golem is one of the most underrated like lower tier Pokemon ever. Me and some of my friends from uni who played in different drafts, we always pick Golem because Golem is an excellent Pokemon.
Oh, yeah.
contrary to what most people think.
Yeah, I agree. I think I've seen X term use it to some degree. I won't spoil the sets.
Exactly.
But
Exterm basically stole our strategy as well. So
and then also,
Golem should be easy if you ask me, but it's only Golem believers who believe that.
so I'm also want to ask about your team name. Tell me what's Electivire and Friends. What's the source of
So
inspiration
basically,
behind
so I was thinking maybe I should pick Electivire, and there's going to be other Pokemon, so it's going to be Electivire Friends. Very self-explanatory, because most other people have a place in their name than a Pokemon, and I thought that was a bit, too standard, so I decided to go for something new. Just put some of my favorite Pokemon onto the banner, then we're good to go.
it? Oh, okay, gotcha. So there's no like significant ties to memories with as far as Electivire and Masquerade and Blaziken other than you like them a lot.
Well, I did win a Drafty basically being carried by Mega Blaziken and Yaskurada, and I think both are pretty cute Pokemon, so. And Electivire is my favorite Pokemon, so I thought I would do something like that.
Fair. Totally.
Yeah, and for when I first submitted the logo, I thought Flygon censored it for being, mature, but I think it ended up okay.
Alright, so now that you got to play your first week and you got it out of the way, how'd you feel after, especially having to play someone that you've known for a long time? Tell me, like, what was the game plan going in?
Well, the game plan was going in was to make it like a fire battle, right? Me and Sport has been in 4 different draft leagues together, and we never played each other once, which
Really?
is very unlucky.
That is very surprising.
That is very surprising, yeah. We always make playoffs and we never draw in the same brackets, and one of us gets eliminated and it's all over. So, well, I always wanted to play that match. Looking at the matchup, I thought I could get a decent read into what he's going to bring. Most of my predictions were right, but I think he could always outplay me, and I've outplayed him, which technically was the truth towards the end. Well, I just wanted to have a good match, right? Because with matches with sports, so it's just going to be fun.
Yeah.
Down to the wire. Like, losing to somebody from your own gang doesn't hurt as much as losing to someone you don't know. Which, when I'm prepping for week 2, is gonna kind of blow me up because week 2 looks terrifying for me. So, yeah.
Let's see. Electivire and Friends, we playing the Retro CM Rampardos, who are just fresh off a 5-0 win, if I remember correctly. I haven't been able to watch the replays between all the leagues around, but I believe they did have a good win. Yeah.
Yeah. Watch Daisuke's replay. That one was a baller one, if you ask me.
Oh yeah. So not to switch too much necessarily just within the league, but which of your favorite match that you've been watching so far, if you've been able to watch any?
I like. I can't pronounce that name, isn't it? Basically, I like Nev's TOB performance. That was a really good playing around of ones. Daisuke's versus Pix, I think it was. That was a banger match, if you ask me. The tech both sides brought, and the sets were very unusual, and that's what usually I want to look in a draft game, right? Because if you play draft and you just take the most average cookie cutter sets, it's not as fun as watching some guy bring absolute insanity, right?
Yeah, I would have never expected the idea of I never knew about the priority move that Hasui again learned, and it was able to use it perfectly for the likes of Talonflame with its priority Gale Wings normally. Yeah, he thought ahead.
Yeah, I was so surprised when I was watching the replay. Real cooked. Yeah,
Pix is I'll probably say this in nearly every interview if I ever get to mention it, but he's definitely one of my favorite people to watch because I get to see so many things I would never expect otherwise, and he still is able to pull it off in a fashion where it doesn't feel like it's forced, So I'm looking forward to whoever he cooks next.
Exactly.
It's always good for one game.
Predictable.
Exactly. Who are you? So I know it's only been week 1, but looking at even you looking at your opponents' rosters and around the league, who do you think is the biggest threat?
Next week is pretty hard for me, I'll say. The Moderna team, that's annoying. Also, I think, I think Dai would be kind of a problem because he would run the most unpredictable stuff, I think. I played in week 4, I think, if I'm correct. Let me peek at my schedule.
Yeah.
I think the Gliscor team is rated pretty high as well. Because yes, Overbond, Heartflame, Latios, Mega, and Bundle, right? And Amber, that's just 4 prep nightmares heading into prep already. And yeah, it's just like, I think I'll be afraid of that team the most. Ogre Part Heartflame, Latios Mega, Iron Bundle, and King Abbott. Just sounds like absolute nightmare.
Yeah, the amount of wall breaking potential on that just sounds like a nightmare to deal with.
I'm prepared to lose that week, I think. And yeah, and next week is going to be hard. Like, I've been getting my ass blasted in mocks by my friends, so yep.
Mocks are a good way to test strategies and figure out if things really work as well as you hope, or if your brain's too big for the other person.
Of course. So yeah, it's good. I like that.
So during the game, there's the game that you had with I guess he left.
With Mr. Slore.
There was a lot of back and forth between the whole terrain change and stuff like that. Were you worried? What do you think was like the turning point for you, like in that game?
I think getting the self-pass of Asumaru made my game a lot more easy. I think if I predict well, it was still 2 KO, but I think that made my plays a lot safer. I kind of almost threw in the end by not going for Trailblaze again on our release, so we almost came back from that, but yeah, we all choke once in a while, right? Also, I feel like a big turning point is knocking off Melmetal's Assault Vest turn 2, because otherwise that thing would have been absolutely horrible to kill. It took my Lando to do that, but it really opened up offense for the rest of the team, which I really appreciate.
I was definitely wondering like how many people ever would run like Ice Beam, but it works perfectly just in like certain scenarios.
I also had never heard of the move Steel Roller until the game started and you clicked that turn 1, so yeah.
Well, at least you know about it now, right? So it's a brilliant move that works for only obviously a handful of Pokemon, and like you saw, it's perfect against terrain, but it fails otherwise. So he definitely knew what he was doing there.
I hope you're aware of that going into next week as well. So I shall prevent that next time.
What do you think about you already know that you're S tier mon. What do you think about the new S tier mon that being used by Score this game?
So like our little prep group, right? There's 6 of us. Since everybody who can take the turtle took it, so 4 of us have the turtle. Because we all think that thing's broken as hell. Judging from performances, I don't think we are bringing out the full potential yet. Because I think that one is just really good. But the discovery of its best sets and the best way to use that Pokemon is probably, we're still a bit off from that, you know? Or maybe it could be, I always thought a good comparison would be to Walking Wake. That's when Walking Wake first got revealed, people were saying, oh my god, banner from OU, right? But now it's just like a good Pokemon, but not the top Pokemon. So I could see that being for Turtle, or I could see it we not being able to find its true potential yet, and it's going to be OP in a few weeks, and I will be grateful that I already played Spore, and I don't have to face that thing ever again.
Yeah, that's true, because as he gets used to using it, I'm sure he'll find deadlier ways to just make it work for his entire team if he doesn't make trades to help support it in that way.
Yeah. I think it's nightmare, bro. I feel like he can want whatever he wants, and you can just say, okay.
How do you feel like how your team performed overall with everything? You feel like they did exactly what they're supposed to do, or do you think there might be a chance of some locker room talks of trading within the next few weeks?
I might drop Articuno, I feel like, but maybe I just, because I looked at this move pool and realized it was very shallow.
Yeah.
I think I would just probably trade around the Minimons. My core is decent. I think my 1, 2, 3, my top 7 is very solid. With Golem, I think is a very sturdy draft, no matter how you look at it, and prepare for most threats coming my way.
Yeah, and that's definitely seen its usage. Oh, we have some people in the audience. Are you interested in taking any questions from the audience, Allo?
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Alright, so our audience wants to ask some questions to our guest here. You're more than welcome to shoot them into the chat, and I will read them out. Do you know
so far I will also... Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna ask you, are any of your friends planning on doing live interviews?
I think Exterm just got a new headset, so I think he'll be down too. And his old one, we could not hear a single word he was saying. I'm not sure if you want to interview Dai because you guys talked to him a lot already, right? So
Oh,
yeah.
I think people would love a Daizuka interview. I'm sure.
Okay, I would too. Honestly, it's gonna be funny.
Of course.
I think Crow is a very opinionated individual who would do interview too. I think. I'm not sure about the others though.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch his interview yet, but I'm sure that he's the type that would like to do one as long as you have some people type. You have someone typing in the chat right now.
Wait, how do you even see the chat? Open. There we go.
No.
I do not know.
even though you sniped me in round 1, I do not want you to leave Descendo.
Are you playing in the league yourself?
Yeah, I'm in Iron Serpent. I just played my match today.
Oh.
Did not win, but it's okay. I was up against a weather team featuring the likes of Houndstone and Dracovish.
I see. What was your team's name?
Team name is the Wagga Wagga Whale Lords. After I moved my team destination to Australia after being presented with a nice opportunity and a cool logo by Sun Flygon, who's no longer in the chat.
I see. Hey, those are some cool nicknames though. This Batman theme, right? I really respect that.
What's that?
It's the Batman themed nicknames. I really respect that.
Oh, yeah. I for some reason I was like, all these people have been doing about themes, and I spent I think 2 or 3 days trying to think of theme names, ideas, and then one day I just started looking at one Pokemon. And oh, you look like X, and before I know it, I had the entire team planned. And if I had Iron Valiant, that would have been the Joker. But, and then if I did have I thought about taking Ditto actually, and that was gonna be Clayface. But
oh, that actually is really interesting.
Yeah. So
I think Blastopian would be a good Joker. He looks like a type of guy who would say, "Oh, we live in a society."
Oh yes, I actually put that one as Harley Quinn because I had expectations of something else.
I see. Oh, my draft philosophy, right?
Yeah. So
draft philosophy. I think I just try to cover the fundamentals well, right? Because no matter how insane your draft is, as long as your fundamentals are not good, you're always going to get exploited. So I feel like I'll always draft a ground, a water, a poison. Then I'm gonna draft 2 pivoting moves, 2 hazard setters, 2 hazard removals, 1 good breaker, and I always like to draft a win con for myself because it makes life easy. Instead of having to plan everything, you just play one Pokemon, right? I also feel like I like to draft a Pokemon I like. So if there's a Pokemon I dislike, I usually try to avoid it if I can. There was another league where Enamorous was one of the top ones in the board, but I thought she looked ugly and I didn't pick it up until turn 5. Or you can't find me drafting something like, I don't know, Clefable. I hate that thing. So I do try to build around what needs to be in a good draft while bringing the things I like over, random stuff. So that is my philosophy. As for play styles, I just like pivoting. It reduces the need for predictions, and that is usually really good.
Thank you for sharing your philosophy and play style.
Yeah.
It's nice to see how much variety that people play with, especially in Draft League, because people can lean towards bulky offense, hyper offense, or to less success, stall, and trick room. But either way, they can come in handy, especially if people aren't prepared for them.
Exactly. I think hyper offense is not as good in draft, I think. Because you really have to have a really good game knowledge to get it going, so I would say that's a bit more high skill level, same with stall. But usually I think bulky offense or fat balance is the way to go in draft, personally. It's safe to play. Even if you fuck up, you don't instantly lose the game on the spot, and you get to, and since there's no timer here, you can do all your calcs you want in the game and have fun.
Yeah, I agree. It took me a while to realize how important having certain Pokemons are, because when we first introduced Reshiram into League, I felt like a real turning point as the power level that shifted for our leagues. And when you get to play with Ubers, like there obviously there are Pokemon that can deal with upper level threats, but you need to be able to have ones that can do it more naturally rather than having to force a hand or do niche strategies just to be able to
catch the big boy Pokemon, right?
Mhm.
Like sometimes you just need to get lucky as well. I feel like and draft them in the matchup in both ways.
Yeah. Oh yeah. People should know that when you play in draft league, you should be prepared to like lose to a paralysis, lose to an 80% accurate move, or some other type of critical hit.
Random RNG, yeah. Hey, I heard that the boss man, like Mr. Chakua here, has lost a match because he missed 8 hurricanes in one game. Well, let's say I just don't want to be that guy.
Yeah, I was actually when I was watching her match, I was waiting for it to see if a hurricane would miss, and it didn't really happen anywhere near as often as I thought it would. But
I was fishing for it with substitution.
yeah, that's what I was guessing too at that point.
So yeah, oh yeah. Also, like I would be taking the games a bit seriously when I feel like there's a team I want to beat. Usually involving snipes or something. So that should be fun.
Oh, you got your board ready of the people that wronged you and sniped you.
Yeah, probably. Or the matches I think it would be fun to like take it seriously because it will be a match worth playing.
Okay.
Usually, yeah.
My last question, at least for RNG, unless you have anything else to say.
Yeah.
So, anything you want to say to your fans after your first win in your debut here in Victory League?
I'm bogus.
Well,
I will refrain from making the music myself. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Mr. TJ.
Yeah.
And thank you for your time.
Yeah. Thank you, Al, for joining us, and until next time, good luck with the rest of your season.
Let's
Okay.
hope I can make it back after a win and all that.